Oh, okay, folks. How you doing this afternoon? It's Thursday, the 24th of October, and I've got one of those videos this afternoon for you that it's time to really get serious about what we're doing. I've played around a little bit, tried to figure out how to do some of these videos a little better and so on and so forth. But now, folks, it's time that we really get down to the nitty-gritty on this stuff. Because there's just some things that I feel like you need to know, okay? Now, this is going to be on the Noahide laws. And I don't know how many of you folks know anything at all about the Noahide laws. But the Noahide laws, we'll get into it. It's the 7 laws of Noah that the Jews proclaim that they have that should be for all of the descendants of Noah, Gentile or Jewish. So this is what they proclaim, okay? Now I want to begin this broadcast with telling you about something that I saw here the other day, okay? And this picture that I've got for you, this is an average churchgoer of an evangelical charismatic church. And as you can see, she's got one of these, what you call a shower loofah on top of her car. Okay. And you may say, well, Jerry, this shower loofah can mean a lot of things. Well, I actually looked up what it meant, but what got me is, guys, if you'll look down in the left-hand corner, she also has a sticker stating, that she is a believer in God and in Jesus Christ and so forth. And so this white loofah that she has in coincidence with this, it's infatuated with the color of white, is what it says. And it means that sex often is filthy. That's what it says as the symbology for it. And these people are puritanical in nature, and they make love in the daylight, or making love in the daylight is unheard of. And women who love this white will undress beneath covers, and men will shower before and after they have the sexual encounter, and they often name their genitals after some pet like a dog or a cat. Now, folks, I'm going to tell you something first offhand. These are the kind of people, you may say, well, this is just subtle, Jerry. But these are the kind of people, folks, that goes to your the Church of the Whore of Babylon, like I basically said in my last video, okay? This is the people that goes to the, it's okay to do this and that kind of Victoria Osteen and whatever the black-headed dude's name is, Osteen, and the church that are the subtle people. And so you see, that's how subtleness comes in, guys. It just comes in that way. It comes like the appearance that Satan gives you that he is a light bearer, a angel of light. He brings everything in on a subtle level to you. And folks, Satan is not the type of entity. He brings everything in like a red and black dragon that everybody's looking for him to be. Everything in these last days is going to be subtle, guys. And apparently this woman that I just showed you the picture of, she seems to think that, well, it's okay if I go to church, but then again, too, I can very subtly partake in the things of the world. And folks, we're not supposed to be of this world, see? But that's the mentality of the new church of the Whore of Babylon that we have in the days we live in, okay? So I just wanted to bring that up because there's a lot of things that are subtle in life. And what I'm about ready to bring up here in a few moments, you're going to also see this is very subtle, okay? So now, in getting in with this, I just want you guys to know that some people consider the YouTube and some of the things that go on YouTube as being conspiracy theories. And so you're going to say, well, Jerry, some of this stuff that you're talking, we might have seen some of this other stuff, and it's conspiracy theories, conspiracy theories. So what we're going to do tonight is this. We're not going to go on any conspiracy theories at all. The only thing I'm going to go on is hardcore facts of what I'm talking about. That can be proven in documents outside of YouTube, books outside of YouTube, everything can be proven outside of the YouTube realm of the conspiracy theory, okay? So I'm not going on any conspiracy theories. There's a lot of things I could say about this stuff, but it's not going to be conspiracy. Okay, what I'm going to talk about tonight is the Noahide laws and Resolution 104. Public Law 102-14 was passed, and passed by only 4 congressmen. Bill Gillum, which was a Republican of New York, Tom Ridge, Rob Michel, he was the one that reserved the right to object, which that's the way the procedure goes. And Tom Sawyer, Democrat of Ohio, he took it up. So Tom Sawyer took up these Noahide laws in Congress after they said that they had already adjourned for the day, okay? Rob Michel, to make this a legal process, he reserved the right to object to this stuff, and it made it legal. Okay. Tom Ridge, one of these 4, was also the one that was talking about the crash in Pennsylvania, which there was no parts found of in 9/11. He is also the head of the Homeland Security of these FEMA projects that you see going today, okay? So he's in with that. And all of this was documented in the Journal of the House of Representatives, March 5th of 1991, okay? So here's a picture, you know, of the 7 Noahide laws that you got here. And we'll go through these Noahide laws really quickly. It's not to worship any idols or false gods is the number 1. Not to curse God is number 2. Establish courts of justice, number 3. Not to commit murder, number 4. Not to commit adultery or sexual immorality, number 5. Not to steal, and not to eat flesh torn from a living animal. So that's the 7 Noahide laws that you have that ended up getting passed through this Congress, through Resolution 104. On March 5th, 1991, by these 4 congressmen, after they told everyone that everything on the floor had adjourned, okay? Remember that. All right. So I want you to hold that thought of what just ended up happening in Congress. And I'm going to give you a brief history of the Bush family, okay? Prescott Bush, which was, okay, you got George Jr., you have George Sr. Prescott Bush was George Sr.'s dad, okay? He was the grandpa of the last president we had, Prescott Bush. And so Prescott Bush has been linked to a lot of companies that raised a lot of money for the National Socialist Party, the NAZIS, if you know what I mean, into power in Germany. And he had a lot of stock in Thyssen International, and he had a lot of stock interest in the banking systems of Consolidated Sicilian Steel Company. And a lot of the NAZI slave labor that occurred at this company at the Poland-German border, he profited by a high percentage. And actually, guys, they are being sued at this time and have been in a long-term lawsuit. I don't know if it's still going on or not, but it was, by 2 members of the Holocaust. They have sued the Bush family for damages resulting from the profit of the slave labor camps that was promoted by this Sicilian Steel Company by Prescott Bush. Okay? Hold that thought. Now, George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush Jr., along with the old man Prescott Bush, have all been members of the Yale University of the Skull and Bones. Now you're going to say, Jerry, this is, getting into the realm of the conspiracy theories. Folks, it's not. They've acknowledged it. They have indeed been part of this Freemason society, the society within a Freemason society. They've acknowledged it. They won't talk about it naturally, because naturally none of them do. And as a matter of fact, the people who were even the descendants of Geronimo have even sued this bunch for the skull of Geronimo being stolen by these people. And they say that they can prove it. But anyway, they are all three part of the Skull and Bones of Yale University. It's a proven fact. And oddly enough, there's not too many members of this. 3 of them have been United States presidents, guys. 3 out of it. And the others have went on to be successful congressmen and successful people in the judicial system. In other words, they've been law judges and so forth, okay? Every one of them that have came out of that Yale University group, they've all been very successful men. This is documented in history, guys. It is not a conspiracy theory, okay? So, in 1993, this Noahide laws that was passed back in March 5th of 91 was snuck in with a public education bill in Public Law 102-14 of the Noahide laws, in which George H.W. Bush passed this thing into law, okay? And that's not debatable. That's on paper. I have looked at it. I have went to different books. I have went to different libraries. I have looked totally outside of the information on the internet. It's all true, guys. It is law. All right? So, you may say, well, Jerry, if that got passed, what's the problem? Well, if that got passed, guys, I'm going to tell you what's wrong with this problem. The worship of a false god or an idol, which is the number one Noahide law on there, if you really want to know the truth about it, Jesus Christ is a false god to these rabbis, okay? They don't believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah. They believe that their Messiah, their Mashiach ben David, is yet to come, okay? A descendant of King David. They believe that the Mashiach ben David is coming, and they do not believe that Jesus Christ is the Messiah. And that first law out of the 7 is what's going to get, that's the big problem that we have here. And you might say, oh God, Jerry, well if that's the case, and that's really going to be a big problem right here, we better let Trump know all about this. We better let Donald, where's the phone? Let's call Donald Trump right here and let him know there's a problem with this. Somebody snuck it in. No, wait a minute, here we're calling him. Oh my God, no, take a look at this picture right here. Donald Trump, he signed a reformation of this. Himself. This is the big Christian that you've got in this country, guys. The big Christian that you've got. Now, I voted for him too. But this is the big Christian that everybody's supporting here. He has signed this law as well. So now, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I want us to forget all about the religious, spiritual aspect of these 7 Noahide laws. Completely forget that. And I want us to go to the United States Constitution on a U.S. constitutional level. Okay. The First Amendment that we have in the Constitution, and I'm going to read it to you. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, of abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of people to peaceably assemble and petition the government for readiness of grievances. Now, did you just hear what I said? Religion is not to be prohibited. It's to be a free exercise in this country. That means that no matter who that you worship. Folks, I've got some friends right here in Florida that are Hindus. They believe in Hinduism. Now you may say, Jerry, why do you associate with those people? Listen, Jesus associated with people that made no sense whatsoever to others. And remember what I'm going to tell you on this, guys. He who is not sick needeth not of a physician. So don't tell me now that these Hindus that I know, they are good people. But like a lot of other people in the beast system, they can be deceived, guys. They can be deceived. But let's move on with this. It don't matter if you wanted to worship a teddy bear, guys. You have the right to do that in this country on the United States constitutional level. This is an unconstitutional bill that has been signed by George H.W. Bush, several other of your presidents, including your savior, Donald J. Trump, has also signed the Shnukum of Rabardabotovich's wishes on these 7 Noahide laws, and they have implemented it on you. And not only that, their Council of 70 that they want to take over the United Nations with, they want to reaffirm these laws. They want to reaffirm all of them. They want it to be pushed into law and passed and pushed, guys. Okay? Now, on a spiritual level, again, like I said, Jesus is a false god to these people. Okay? And so, this is part of the Old Covenant anyway, guys. These 7 laws are part of the Old Covenant. You're not supposed to be supporting anything like that. You're supposed to be part of the New Covenant, guys. If you're not part of the New Covenant, then you're half Zionist and half pagan, just like I tried to tell you. Okay? But it's no good. And you may say, well, are you absolutely certain of this, Jerry? It's even in Scripture, guys. You take a look at Luke 21:12. Okay? So let's go to Luke 21:12. And in Luke 21:12, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. In other words, he's going to put in your mouth, guys, what to say during this particular point in time. They're going to deliver you up to the synagogues for the testimony of Jesus Christ in the Great Tribulation period over this very law that I'm bringing before you today. Okay? And it's not debatable, folks. It's there on paper. Now, may I also remind you that John the Baptist, he was beheaded for the testimony of Christ. Okay? King Herod beheaded him. Now, in Revelation 24, chapter 20, verse 4, it says, and this is what John the Revelator seen when he was on the island of Patmos. Okay? And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and the judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, and which had not been worshipped by the beast, neither the image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they had lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. The 1,000-year reign of Christ to come after all this is over with. So you can see John the Revelator, he plainly saw this beheading of Christians. Okay? That's what he saw. And it's not debatable. But in the New Covenant, guys, that's what you're supposed to be following anyway. You should never even have been taken in by this. And shame on every single one of these congressmen that seen they had been hoodooed on this thing, because every one of them could have said something about it, because it's an unconstitutional law, but they chose not to. Because why? Because going against Israel on any of this stuff is a political kiss of death, people. That's why they did it. They did it to save their own ass, okay? This stuff makes me mad, man. Okay, so these FEMA camps that's being ran, they're old Walmarts, folks, is what they are. They're old Walmarts. And if you look, the occultic meaning of a Walmart, if you look at how they do things about spelling things backward, Walmart spells martial law. Spells martial law. And so, I want you to take one look at one thing that I have, which I actually forgot to bring it in here for this video. If you would just simply be patient with me for 10 to 15 seconds, I will bring before you what that I want to show you today. I'm not getting into these FEMA camps today. But I'm going to bring before you here something that is worthy of your time to give me 10 to 15 seconds to bring it before you. And when I do this, it may amaze many of you. Give me one moment. Told you it would not take me very long. This is a sign of everyday prices at Walmart. Walmart, always the low prices, always, right? Walmart spelled backwards is martial law. Let me show you something, people, that many of you do not know. You see this little yellow symbol that you have? Let me show you something. I want to show you something again of that. And after I finish doing this, it may shock many of you. This magic marker is not the best. But this just goes to show you how these people operate. Take a look, people, at what that is. And I'm going to tell you something. They're putting railroad tracks in the ones that they got down here in Florida, throwing the railroad tracks right to them. Let me tell you something else too. They're calling them education centers. What do you think they called the camps of the Holocaust? Strewn all across Europe, that they put the pitiful, ordinary, everyday people in. They called them education centers. If you don't believe me, look it up. You tell me how sick that is, people. Tell me how sick that it is. So now, when it comes to these politics, I know that a lot of you people are for Donald Trump. But I just showed you he reaffirmed these Noahide laws, which are unconstitutional, which is of the Old Covenant, and it is also a law that will not allow you to worship Jesus Christ, people. That was exactly what it was intended for, okay? And I know you sit here and you watch me throw a few words out there that you kind of were surprised that I throwed out there because this is YouTube. But folks, let me tell you something. The way that I consider this video is simply this. This is not hating against any particular organization or any particular country. These people are hiding behind this, people. These Zionists are hiding behind this narrative that if you say something against me, we've been hurt back in the 1940s so bad you have no sense of saying anything against us. And folks, I'm going to tell you something. I don't want to get into it right now, but these are not even the same people that even was hurt during the Holocaust. Not even the same people. Not even the same descendants of the same people. And I can prove that, but I'm not going to do it right now. But this is not right. Everybody in the United States is in trouble over this, people. Everybody in this country. And I just told you where to take a look at this stuff. Just showed you what it was. God is showing you, people. Now, when it comes down to your politics, I want to show you something. You see the donkey right here of the Democrat Party, right? Now, this donkey, you people have obviously, you've come out before and you've said, now, Jerry, this Nancy Pelosi woman, she just acts really stupid. She's got a stupid way about her. She does a lot of stupid things, and Hillary kind of does some stupid stuff. A lot of these people in the Democrat Party are really goofy, but they're not really as goofy as you think they are. Because here's the thing, folks, it's an act. As a matter of fact, they act too goofy for it to be real, if you ask me, especially Nancy Pelosi. So what do you guys do whenever you see this real goofiness going on? What do? You run to Trump, don't you? You run to this man right here. And then when you do that, I want to show you a picture of the elephant that was representative of the Republican Party before. And I'm going to show you an elephant of the party now that Donald Trump is leading it. And I don't know exactly when this happened. But I'm going to show you how Satan has tricked you to running straight and made you want what he had. Take a look at the new elephant that's up now. See that? Now, let me show you how they've changed that with the stars. Take a look at this. You see what I'm saying, people? This is always how he does with everything that he operates in. He is the destroyer. He is the hater of mankind. He would gobble you alive if he could. And he's going to try it too, people. He has made you want what he has, and he sits back and he laughs at you. And the agenda on this new elephant, it's changed, people. Why did they change those stars like that? Come on, man. I guess it's just a coincidence, just like everything else in this country, and it's just a coincidence, Jerry. They just went and they turned those stars straight down to look like the pentagram of the devil just for the HE double of it, didn't they, people? You're going to have to get your head out of your butt, people. And you're going to have to realize that these people are all on the same side. Every single one of them are part of the Freemasonic order in this country. They're not for you, okay? These laws are not for you. If they were for you, why did these congressmen pass them? Why did the congressmen that were absent not say something about them? And why did the presidents down through the generations all sign what the schnookum had for them to sign, people? Which, by the way, is a New World Order doomsday court, in case you didn't know. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm not hating on anybody, guys. This video, I'm going to tell you what this video is about. If they block this video on YouTube, this video is about the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which guarantees you freedom of religion. And they passed a tag bill along with this education bill, honoring this education bill in 1993. They passed it. Every one of them saw it go down the line, and none of them has said anything. And they're not for you, people. This right here shows it. And then look at the FEMA camps being built in the same time. Do you really think the devil is going to, he's going to do something out in the open? You think he's just going to build Holocaust camps right out in the middle of fields and tell you this is the Holocaust for the Christians? No, this is all being done very slick, people. Very, very, very slick. And I'm going to tell you something else I want you to check into. There was he was a director, David Crowley. He was directing a film called Gray State. And this Gray State, he said it was going to be a movie that was going to concentrate on the Holocaust here in the United States. That it was going to be different than every other doomsday film that had ever been filmed here, in the fact that he was going to put reality in it of what actually was going to happen, and well, what actually could happen, and he depicted happening. So when they come out with this trailer on this movie, The trailer showed a figure completely decked in white, and around his waist was a bib. And when this trailer came out, and this thing was shown, okay, it wasn't but a matter of a few days later, he, his wife, and his kid were all gunned down in their home. And they said, well, he was unhappy. He gunned his family down. Folks, that is not at all true. Everybody that talked about him said he led a happy life. He led a good life with his family, just like I do. I lead a happy life here. Work is a little rough sometimes, but pretty much I lead a happy life with what goes on in my life here. It's really did good. But this man did too. And he got gunned down, guys. Then they come up with some movie that had a few of these quacks in it. Some of the, not Newt Gingrich and a few of these other little bar drinking quacks that drinks more than they walk around. They talked a little bit here and there, and they released it, and they said this is the movie, and it wasn't. It was nowhere near close to what he said it was going to be. So folks, you're being played, okay? If this doesn't prove it to you, I don't know what does. I know you're looking somehow for somebody to be the salvation of the United States of America, but folks, I'm telling you right now, the only person that you have that you can depend on is Jesus Christ, people. And they want to take that one thing away from you. You wait till the bride of Christ is gone from here, folks. I don't have intentions on being here, guys. The bride of Christ is leaving here shortly, and let me tell you something else. The brunt of the church is not going, because the brunt of the church is asleep, and the brunt of the church has denied the Messiah. By you accepting this stuff like this, by you accepting these old covenants, you have denied the Master. That's what you've done. Now, you may say, Jerry, by you bringing out all this, don't you think that you come into harm's way, and maybe there's some other people that knows this stuff, but they just don't come out and say this stuff? Because I have had one or two people tell me, well, more than that. You put yourself in harm's way, Jerry, talking about this kind of thing, but let me remind you of one thing that Jesus said, people. He said, those who love their life shall lose it, and those who lose their life shall find it. If you love your life enough that you're not willing to lose it for the Master, if you love it that much, you're going to lose it. If you lose your life because you love the Master, you're going to find it. Every bit of this stuff, it's all going to come out in the wash here in the end, guys. All of the filth, all of the niceness, it's all going to be drugged right out into the open for everybody to see. Yes, sir. And there's not going to be any denying it. There's not. I have even seen it work in my life here lately. I have seen people who have had filth and dirt go on, and they're being drugged right into the middle right into the limelight of people, and people are seeing what they're doing. I've even had a few people give me a hard time here lately, and I know what all that's about. And it goes beyond just them giving me a hard time. But you better start seeing this stuff, folks, for what it is. This is not a conspiracy theory. I just showed you everything in plain sight. You can check every bit of this out for you yourself. We live in an age of information. And so if you want to seek the Lord, even if you live in a lazy capitalistic system, you still can go seek Him, and you can seek His Word, because there is so much information pouring in from everywhere. If you have wasted this time and you have not sought to find out what the truth is with all this information pouring in from the internet and everything else, the indoctrination of propaganda is not working at this time like it did in Germany, guys. That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you look in my past videos, I've told you before, they got by with this when the Great Depression come around. They got by with this in World War I, World War II, these revolutionaries. They will not get by with it this time. Jesus is going to drag them into the limelight, and the criminals are going to be shown for what they are. And you're either with Him or you're without Him. The tares and the goats are being separated right now. So you're either with him or you're without him, one of the two. And guess what, guys? I straightened my life a couple of years back, and I'm with him. I don't want to be left here to see the great tribulation period. But if I am somehow, I will not deny my Messiah right there in the testimony of Christ. That's all that there's ever been that was ever worth anything in my life. And it's all that ever will be in my life that's ever worth anything. So you need to make a decision, and you need to make a choice. And if you're one of these people who sees these things like I do, and you're sitting back and saying nothing, if you think you're going to save your hide by saying nothing, your ASS is already on the line, pal. The only question is what are you going to do about it? So thank you very much for seeing my video. I have got another video coming up here in 4 or 5 days. And it's going to be a doozy, guys. Everybody's got it wrong on who the synagogue of Satan is. I'm going to show you who the synagogue of Satan is. I can show you plainly. I don't know if it'll stay up. Rockin' Mr. E, he made one here a few days ago, well, about a week and a half ago, on who the synagogue of Satan is. And I actually like Rockin' Mr. E. He's a pretty good old guy. He really is a knowledgeable fella. But even he got it wrong. And I think when he sees what that I'm going to show, which is going to be in plain sight, I've got pictures that's going to prove what I'm going to say, believe it or not. You'll know then who they are, and so will he. Thank you very much for seeing my video. See you guys later.